this is Liz from Nearly Enough Dice, working with UK Gaming Media Network, and with me is Mark from AEG. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. So this is Guildhall, first of all, you've got here for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go through a few things that AEG is going to be doing over the next wee while. Obviously, I'm going to start off with the things that we've sort of done recently, just so I can show you a little bit about those. So this is Guildhall. Guildhall is a very simple but engaging set collection game in which you are trying to develop guilds of various professions in order to claim victory points and win the game. The reason I wanted to talk about this one first is it's a really simple game, but has a real good sort of depth analysis. The cards are largely language dependent and work off symbols. They're very simple, very straightforward to understand. We have an assassin, a historian, a weaver, a trader, a farmer, and a dancer.
With that one.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Cool.
And the object of the game is to get a complete set in any one of those guilds. And as you start building the guilds, because you're only allowed to have a guild member of a different colour to the one that you previously got, and there's 5 different colours. But as you build a guild, not only are you building towards something that's going to help you buy victory points and win the game, but the guilds actually get better. So if we take the example of, let's say, the historian at an early level allows you to take a card from the discard pile.
Yeah.
Once you've got more historians in your guild, you can look through the discard pile as opposed to just taking the top card. When the guild gets really good, you can actually root through the discard pile, look for any 2 cards and put them straight into your guild.
Wow.
So basically the idea is they get better and better and better, but once you've completed them, they go away and you buy victory points with them, but you're then starting the guild again. There's a lot of player interaction. You know, traders trade with other guilds, assassins assassinate people in other people's guilds, and so on. So there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of gameplay. It's really good fun. The first time I sat down and played this which was actually in Japan when we were looking at a prototype. I just had that moment of sort of going, oh wow, this is a clever little game. This is. So I just wanted to mention Guildhall. It's done really well. We actually sold out of it on the first day here, and we've been demoing it since. People are still coming out asking for demos, and hopefully we'll be able to pick 1 or 2 copies up from some of the other traders in the hall.
Nice.
Because it's been amazingly popular at the show. So
Brilliant.
That's Guildhall. Can I talk about another? Yeah.
Of course, keep going.
Obviously, I think last year I ended up playing Smash Up on live at UK Games Expo. Was it 20 minutes I played for? I played for far too long. I was jet lagged. I was really struggling. Just to say, this is the first expansion that we brought out. Awesome level 9,000. So it's got 9,000 levels of awesome about it.
Nice.
Featuring bear cavalry, Cossacks riding bears, steampunks, killer plants, obviously to go with your zombies, and the other one, which is full of tokens, ghosts. We've also included in this set some tokens for victory point markers, because people had said they'd like tokens, so we listened to that, included some of those. We put all the bases in, so there's plenty of bases there, including we've reprinted the ones from the original set with a bit bigger text on them.
Okay.
People had said, you know, they were finding the text a little bit small. So we've tried not only to make this an expansion, but to make it an improvement to the game as well. Each of these factions play slightly differently, obviously, to the 8 factions we brought out in the base set. It's really cool. I mean, it's 9,000 levels of awesome. 9,000 levels. As you can tell, Smash Up is not a game where we think we should take ourselves too seriously.
No.
It's a fun game. All of the play really is in the cards. The rule book is really straightforward. We've got a pretty little rule book here, but as you can see, there's not much text in it, and it's mainly graphics. The whole meat of the game is in the actual gameplay. The idea is that because each faction has a very different feel, literally smash two factions up.
Okay.
So if you play zombies and bear cavalry, you have a different experience to playing bear cavalry and plants.
Yeah.
If you play robots with ghosts, you get a different experience to playing ghosts with
Steampunk.
steampunks. Yeah, steampunks. So, and each faction kind of has its own thing. It might be Weenie Blitz, or it might be card draw, or it might be moving around, whatever. And we really feel it's a good gateway. It gives people that kind of collectible card game experience without having to build decks, without having to collect anything, because it's all in one box. It gives you that sense of, I found this cool combo here, and we've deliberately put it in there, and actually people find combos that we never found, which is really good fun.
That's always satisfying, isn't it? Really.
It's good. It's really nice when people, you see people on the forums go, "Hey, I did this." And you go, "Oh wow, I didn't see that."
Nice.
So obviously that's the base set of Smash Up. So we've done Love Letter, we've done Guildhall, and I've talked about Smash Up. I can talk for a few minutes if you would like about some of the things we've got coming up.
I'd love to hear what you have coming up in the future.
Okay, so we've got we've got some other small games like Love Letter. Obviously, Love Letter was designed to be a cheap, easy, quick little game. We've got a few more games coming out in that category this summer. We've got a very engaging little deduction game called Agent Hunter.
Ooh.
Agent Hunter, where you basically are playing cards out and trying to crack other people's safe houses where they've got their agents. And it's a game of deduction, and you can kind of just decoy people.
Yeah.
Plays really quickly again, I would say 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
Simple game, just 20 cards and a few tokens, but really good fun. Designed by Mike Elliott, who designed Thunderstone.
Yep.
So we've got that coming out. We've got a real fast, simple zombie card game called Card of the Dead, where you are trying to escape the zombies, and so is everybody else. Plays out again really quick, just really light, fun, but engaging little game. You're trying to either beat up the zombies or send them over to somebody else. It's the old thing. I don't need to be able to run faster than the zombies. I just need to be able to run faster than you. Card of the Dead, again, a very light little game. We've got another game coming out by Seiji Kanai, who designed Love Letter, called Cheating Mages, which is a game about arena battles, which are being fought by a bunch of monsters. And you each represent a mage who has bet on the outcome of this fight, and so you're trying to surreptitiously use spells to advantage or disadvantage certain contestants.
Nice.
The only problem is that there's always a judge, and each judge is slightly different in terms of how much they'll tolerate. It's like a Premier League referee, I guess, right? Some of them will red card you quite quickly, others are a bit more lenient. And again, a quick, slightly longer game than perhaps Love Letter or Agent Hunter or Card of the Dead, but a very clever game. I mean, Sage's a great designer. So we've got that coming out. What else have we got? We have got. So I don't know whether you're familiar with the Gamers movies. There was a Gamers Darkness Rising. Well, there's a new Gamers movie coming out this summer called Gamers Hands of Fate, and we have made the game of the movie.
Wow.
So when they made the movie, they worked with us, and they did some of the crowd shots at Gen Con, and when they kickstarted it, we said, if they got to a certain level, we would actually make a game based on what they were telling us about how the game worked in the movie. And at the end, I'm pretty pleased. It's come out a lot like the game the sort of fictitious game that they had in the movie. So we're hoping that will release sometime this summer. Brilliant. It's the movie's based on the idea it's a collectible card game. The game we're releasing isn't. It's a box card game with all of the cards you need in one set. It's not collectible. Okay. For the original release. And there's no plan that anything we do in the future is going to be collectible. It's going to be in itself. Self-contained. And the other thing which I wanted to talk about is we are releasing. Well, we've got 2 new Thunderstone products coming out.
Oh wow!
Because Thunderstone's done really well, and I apologise to anybody who wanted Thunderstone from us here again. Sold out. Sorry, we are printing more. If your local store's still got a copy, be quick. But we will get the reprint printed as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So we're doing a kind of a starter kit for Thunderstone. So we're trying to bring out something that's at a lower price point, which you can just play straight out the box.
Oh wow!
It's got a couple of little variations in the village and the heroes that you can use, but it's more or less it's a kind of basic setup for the game plus a couple of cards. So there's a little bit of variety in it, but we've deliberately tailored those cards so that they're easier to learn to play the game with.
Yeah.
They're
You could almost think of it like a quick start guide, almost.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it is. The cards have simple functions, no tricky interactions. They will work perfectly well with all of the other Thunderstone expansions, so they're in no way different to anything else we've done with the Thunderstone Advance, card set. And that's going to be coming out really soon, next month.
Ooh.
And as I say, it will be at a lower price point. So for anybody who's thought, I might like to get into Thunderstone, but I'd like to have something, just to dip my toe into the water, ideal product. And then in the summer, Thunderstone moves into a new world again, kind of following the story that you're jumping from world to world to fight the big evil. And we have partnered up with Monty Cook, who is releasing his Numenera role-playing game this summer, and Thunderstone is actually going to be set in the Numenera world. So we are going to be releasing probably, I'm thinking late summer, early autumn. We don't have any definite date just yet, and that's again Thunderstone Advanced Numenera.
Okay.
So that will be coming out later on, and we've got a ton of stuff in the works that I can't talk about just yet.
So what I can really take away from this is pretty much around from now till the end of summer, I'm going to be pretty poor and have lots of games.
But you're going to be very rich in terms of how much fun you're having.
Definitely. So Mark, you were just about to start talking about Trains.
Yeah, so Trains is another game we picked up in Japan. It was originally done as a small release in Japan, and we are going to put together a worldwide release. It's coming out sometime in the summer. It's a game where the engine is a deck builder. You have a board on which you're trying to establish, your board position, and it's a game about trains. I mean, what else can you say? Deck builder, trains, board game.
It's everything I want and more.
Everything I want in life, yeah. So the idea is each person is, I suppose, a sort of railway magnate in Japan, and you're vying for control of the most effective rail network. And it's a combination of linking up the major cities. Some of the cards represent buildings and other developments that you can put adjacent to your railway. The purpose of the game is to end the game with the most victory points. So you need to build an effective deck in order to function well on the railway. But the game's got some quite clever little mechanics about building railways creates waste, and you have to recycle or dump the waste, and so you're constantly you don't have just the deck builder experience. You have a sort of an overall management experience, because you have to look at what your competitors are doing. You're managing your rail network in relation to what the other competitors are doing. Creating the railway creates waste, and that becomes part of your deck management. So the game's great because you're having to deal with a number of different factors. You've got the board position, and you've got the effectiveness of your own deck, and you're trying to accelerate your way on the board as effectively as you can, but that can affect your deck negatively. So you've got that sort of balance factor to go on. It's a great game. The original Japanese game sold at Essen last year and was received really well, really positively. So we're very, very pleased to be able to be publishing that.
Brilliant. And I think finally there's a game involving throwing cards at people.
Maximum Throwdown.
Ooh.
So the idea of the game is each player has a deck. The decks are slightly different, so they all kind of play in slightly different ways. But you have a series of cards with symbols on them, And those symbols enable you to do different things. So it might be drawing a card or getting another throw or scoring victory points. And when you throw the card, you have to throw it in such a way that it lands touching another card or it doesn't score.
Okay.
But of course, as more cards are thrown, they sort of land on top of each other, and you only get to score for the things that are visible.
Yeah.
So you can cover other people's cards up if you're good at throwing, and it's kind of fast, fun, exciting, really easy game to pick up, super addictive. Love it.
Really?
Love it. It's light, really easy to understand, but you know.
So you've got like a lot of games coming out at the moment. It sounds like a really exciting time for AEG at the moment. It's just like so much good stuff coming out. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We really have got a ton of stuff coming out over the course of the sort of summer to autumn. We've got a lot more stuff in development at the moment, so we're sort of busy working on that as well.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I say to people, you make games for a living, right? It's so much fun. I have to wake up in the morning and think, wow, do I really do this? It's really exciting right now. We're excited about the stuff that's coming out, and we're excited about the stuff that we're actually kind of working on that we can't talk about just yet. So I think it's not just going to be an exciting sort of summer. We've got stuff coming through autumn, and we're working on things for next year. We've got the launch of the next arc of our collectible card game, Legend of the Five Rings, early next year as well. So we're doing a lot of work on that, and that's super exciting. We're doing some really good stuff with that, really good stuff. Overall, it's an amazing time at the moment. It's gaming is taking off. It seems to be expanding. There's a lot more people, a lot more families. A wider sector of the population seems to be becoming more and more aware of gaming, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to spending all of my money this summer.
Well, you'll be much better off for spending it. Really, you will.
I think so too. Thank you very much.